Hey everyone, it's time to circle the wagons because the Coon Prairie Ramblers are in town and we're going to confabulate on and do some mental meandering on just about everything. And with me in the studio is KC and the Moonshine Band.
Greetings and hallucinations.
Yeah, and hallucinations. And we also have Luke the Rebel with the Cause.
It's howdy doody time.
Yeah. Hey, which one of you is the guru of Nocatee?
He is. He's older, so he's.
Oh, okay.
His family goes way back further.
Yes, but I have never studied
Guology?
history like Luke has.
Oh yeah, but you've absorbed it through osmosis or something like that. You
I
got
don't think
plenty
I
of it.
absorbed as much as you have
I don't know.
studied that. I don't
My
know.
behind's absorbed a lot of.
But even if you haven't studied that much, you can still have wisdom. Be ingrained wisdom, right?
I don't know.
You have to have the
Little horse sense is all I want. You can keep the rest of it.
Well, you see, the other thing is what a lot of people don't realize. For me and Luke both, we have something in common. We were military brats.
Yes.
And we were not born in Nocatee, as a lot of people think we were.
That's true.
We were, I don't remember when Luke came, but I moved to Nocatee when I was 8 years old.
We got there as quick as we could.
Fast as our legs would take us.
Did you arrive about the same time?
No. He was probably just a glimmer in somebody's eye.
I visited there a lot because my family was from there.
Oh, that's
my father
right.
was in the service.
That's right.
And the same for me. We went there on holidays and summers.
Your whiskers make me think you're much older, but you are younger than us.
I am 3 score as of last month.
Say,
And I'm a half a score at a year more.
you guys, I can tell are adroit at country music, right?
How can you tell? Are you stereotyping us? What are you trying to say?
Oh, yeah, profiled.
Because we're from Nocatee. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking, but
Well,
I'll
this
take
ought to be
that
good.
back.
Ought to be good.
Maybe I should open up with like, hey, do you guys know anything about country music?
Which country?
That's a big subject, isn't it?
The U.S. of A.
Yeah.
Well, the CS of A.
Now, is country music Southern? Was it always Southern?
No, that's not where it came from.
Came from the Appalachia? Or actually it came from overseas. It's a foreign.
Yeah, I think Irish folk music has a lot of strong influence on
Kind of Irish.
country. Yeah.
Scotch-Irish?
And they came over and they settled in the mountain
Yeah.
area and they started breeding with the mountain people and interbreeding with them and stuff. And the song sort of morphed into what we know of as the origin of country music. But a lot of that was we're to thank people like A.P. Carter, who would go up into the mountains and seek these people out. He was the male third of the Carter family. He would go up in the mountains and find these people sitting on their porch and say, "Sing me a song," and they would sing these songs that they'd been passing down from generations. And he would, I guess he had his guitar, he would learn them and bring them back, and that's how country music started evolving. But my question has always been, what his interpretation of what they did, how much did he change just in his delivery that took away from what was originally being sung up in the mountains? So I'm sure that had to morph a little bit.
Was he from the mountains, or was he went
Not
up
the
there? He
mountains,
went up to
no.
them. Well, I mean, he was from that group.
From that area,
yeah.
Probably a tri-state, probably maybe Virginia, West Virginia, somewhere.
So he decided did he purpose to capitalize on it?
Yes, his wife and his sister-in-law.
Okay, so that was Maybelle. Mother Maybelle, and
Was his sister-in-law, and Sarah was his wife.
Sarah. Yeah, and then they took that music down to the south of the border. No, why'd they do that? Because
South of the border.
Well, they broadcast on a station down in Mexico that had no limits on their wattage.
Right, that's how they could get it out there.
And they boomed it across the United States.
They did, and the Carter family was a hit. And on their shirt tails came Jimmy Rogers and his sound. And Jimmy Rogers was probably the first rock and roller or blues man. A lot of his stuff has been rearranged and deranged, and his sound and his style because this was before we had blues, before we had rock and roll.
That blues come from country?
No, blues came from. That's right.
Okay.
The plantation.
But there was an element of blues in country.
That's why if you'll follow the migration of a lot of the slaves after they were freed, and the slaves would migrate to the bigger towns. They go to Mississippi, and they followed the Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They went upstream or upriver, and they'd go to Chicago, end up in other towns, Missouri and St. Louis, and the blues would follow them up.
Now,
and the gospel had a part in that too. And when you had blues and you had gospel and this mountain music all collided in
they had a baby, and they named it rock and roll.
That's right, in the Memphis area. And that's how rock and roll was born.
And that was the early part of the 1900s.
No, 50s.
50s.
For rock and
50, yeah,
roll.
50s, yeah.
Sam Phillips and the Sun
So
Studio.
basically, country, blues, and of course, rock is new, pretty new. I mean, it's within my lifetime.
That's right.
So
Rock and roll is here to
So I was born in 50. So
Wow.
it began in 54 or something like that, or
stay. Around then.
yeah.
Around then. Elvis came on
Is
the
that
scene.
when they
in the-
coined the phrase?
Elvis came on the scene in probably 54 to begin with. And I think rock and roll was maybe coined by, I want to say either Chuck Berry or Bill Haley. I think Chuck
I'm
Berry.
thinking it came from the song.
Rock and roll is here to stay?
No.
Rock around the clock?
Yeah.
Bill Haley
Really?
and the Comets?
Right. I think that's what it was.
That's possible.
But that went back earlier than him. Didn't somebody do it before him?
I think Chuck Berry did. I think Chuck Berry made
I was
it.
walking down the streets of Bangkok, Thailand, and I went past a club, and I saw on the sign there the Bill Haley and the Comets
Yep.
were in there. That was in like 72.
Right.
And I'm thinking, wow, they're still around. Well, they were
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
had to go all the way to Bangkok to get an audience, I guess.
Well, when did country merge with West? And then on the other hand, when did it unmerge? You know, it was country, and then it was, remember you used to hear country and Western,
Country and
and now it's
Western.
just country again. So when did all that happen?
Beats me. You know, I went to research this, and I had no idea how vast it was. I mean, they've got country music divided up into generations, and you have genres within those generations.
That's right.
Last night, first time I ever heard the term Bakersfield sound. And then found
Buck
out
Owens.
that that's where Buck Owens. But
Dwight
so
Yoakam.
that's Bakersfield sound. What he
It was very
does.
popular in
Yeah,
the 60s.
well, Bakersfield, Buck Owens, and Bakersfield was a farming community back in those days, so it was more of a rural.
Oh,
and that's-
okay. I got in my mind like a big city or something. But
Well,
it's-
it is, but
Wow.
at one
Wow.
time
Yeah.
it was more of a rural, and I guess they probably consider it more of a back.
Is that where like Woody Guthrie ended up, like when during the Dust Bowls of the 30s or
He
something?
did. He went out there, and he was an outcast, but he went and forced his way in.
So
Yeah,
was
he was
Bakersfield Sound an outcast or a
No, that evolved later, way after Woody Guthrie.
yeah
He was folk, like KC said. He was folk singer, protest singer.
Yeah,
process? Okay, they had this way back in there.
Yeah,
Oh,
country music has been with us for quite a while now, and it's continuing to evolve. But I kind of think they've sort of hit a snag right now, because to me a lot of it looks, acts, sounds, and smells just
yeah.
alike.
But I think the country came to be in the country western during the days of Roy Rogers and Gene Autry.
So
because they
he
were-
was in the era or the generation of the 30s and 40s.
who?
Roy Rogers and
40s maybe,
yeah.
40s, 50s with the Sons
And I
of the
think
Pioneers.
Hollywood want to sing in cowboys,
right?
and they sing like a country sound.
And you want to watch some corny cowboy shows? Watch the ones that has the singing cowboys on it.
That's right.
I beg your
And
pardon.
the Jeep come.
And they pepped it up. They pepped it up in the, I guess, late 40s, early 50s with Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys. They had that full
the Texas swing.
yeah, the Texas swing music out there with an orchestra with horns and everything, and that was a whole different genre.
I was watching this Roy Rogers movie, and they're singing, they're riding on the plane, singing a song. And here comes Gabby Hayes in the Jeep, or in a beeping his horn, going around, getting them off the road.
Nellie Bell.
That wasn't Gabby Hayes. That was
Well, in the movie,
Pat. What's his
Pat
name?
Buttram.
No, it wasn't Pat Buttram either. It was,
Pat Brady.
Pat Brady. Pat Brady drove Nellie Bell.
Huh.
Gabby Hayes was the little bearded guy with the
Yeah,
floppy hat.
but he was in a car too. I think he was a forerunner of
Could have been.
Pat.
I
But
haven't seen those in a long
I
time.
going back to the generational thing of country music. Evidently, we're in the sixth generation. Like the sixth generation being like the Carrie Underwood and the Florida Georgia line, whatever that is.
Yeah, what they call bro country.
Bro
Bro
country.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was just before that there was the Garth Brooks and the Dixie Chick
George
generation.
Strait guys.
And the no hat generation.
And then back before, then you had the 70s and 80s,
Yeah.
the John Denver and Willie Nelson. It's
Well,
just
John Denver wasn't very well accepted at first as being a country music performer.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He
Okay.
was not.
more pop. It was pop or something. or-
It's more folky to me.
But this is a story we can tell here. We got to break off here in a second. Or we got a good John Denver country story coming up here next. So y'all be thinking about. Y'all put on your cowboy hats. Be thinking about
Yeah.
country music. We'll come back in just a few. Talk some more about that.